Welcome to today's session. As we have seen in the previous weeks, we are in the module 4 of chapter 7 in the textbook, the behavior modeling. So the behavior modeling is one of the modeling technique available in Verilog, which we have seen in the previous classes. The other modeling techniques are gate level, data flow, that we already covered in the chapter 3, chapter 4 and chapter 5 of your textbook. So in the last two classes we have seen the blocking and non-blocking procedures and using the delays. Okay. So delay based assignments also we have seen. So in today's class we will see about the events. Okay. So we have seen the timing delay, regular, intra-assignment delay, zero delay, and now we will see about the event based timing control. This is the feature added in the behavioral model where it helps us to write a complex code and understand its working principle easily. Event is the change in the value on a register or a net. Whenever there is a change in a register or a net, the event will be triggered. So event can be utilized to trigger execute of statements or a block of statements. So if you look at the data flow model, the value changes, then everything is executed in parallel, but I cannot trigger to the one particular statement to execute only when there is a issues that writing a code in a data flow model or a gate level model becomes a complex. Whereas a behavior model, it gives that option. If there is a change in a particular data, then only execute certain codes. Rest of the time you don't execute. So this it is clear, gives a clear definition for the coder when to execute certain codes, when not to do. It is equivalent having a function to execute only for a particular time, and the rest of the time the function need not to be active. So based on this, Verilog has given a 4 types of event based timing control. First is the regular event control. Second one is a named event control. Third one is event or control. Fourth one is level sensitive timing control. In the lab, we have already seen the event or level sensitive, but in this class also we will see in detail about what are the events we are going to have. Let us see the regular event control. The regular event control has a symbol at. Is to specify there is an event control is available in our code. The statements can be executed on change in signal value or at a positive or a negative transition of the signal value. So what does it means is, if I have within the event, what are the statements I am going to have if the signal in the register or net, the value are at a positive or the negative transition of a signal. That means whenever there is a rise of the signal and a fall of a signal is there, so at that time also the event can be triggered. To give the positive transaction, it is called a pos edge. If it is a negative transaction, it is as a neg edge, N-E-G-E-D-G. So it's a negative edge. So we have seen in a flip-flop program about how to use a positive edge triggered events. So here is an example for a regular events. For regular events, I can just say at. So within the parenthesis, what kind of signal I am going to analyze, and then I have a statement. So this is a very easiest statement where you can tell that straight away Q is equal to at of positive edge of clock D. So this is nothing but a D flip flop for us. So it becomes easy. So the event is triggered whenever the positive edge of clock is there, right? So here you can see at positive edge of clock Q is equal to D. Okay. So this will be triggered. Then these statements will be assigned for us. Okay. Similarly, for the negative edges, it is at neg edge. The next one is named event control. In the named event control, we have to declare a variable as an event, then trigger and recognize the occurrence of that event. So like a reg, there is a keyword called event. Okay. So with the help of the event keyword, we are defining our own trigger keyword. Then we are going to call the triggered keyword. The event does not hold any data. That means basically it does not store any data. It is just a representation in Verilog. So the named event is declared by the keyword event. The event triggered symbol is I have a hyphen and greater than symbol. Okay. So this is similar like that of your C language where you have a pointer access. The triggering of the event is recognized by the symbol at. So again, it is an extension of your regular event. How we are using in a regular event, using at some variable. Similarly, here is also the event is triggered, is recognized by the symbol at. Let us see an example here. As the rule says, first I have to declare the named event. The name I should give the event for the name. So here the keyword used is event and the name is received underscore data. Now this is always at positive edge of clock. Okay, then again I will write some statement. See, inside this positive edge of the clock, I am saying if lost data packet, some data packet. If I have received some data, then I am triggering received data. Okay, then closing it. So see how I am triggering the received data by using a hyphen and the greater than symbol. So this is triggered now. So once it is triggered, it comes to the always block. See the at symbol, as we have already told, like a regular event, always at received data. Then I will be executing the code which is required for my analysis. So where it can be used, if you used Arduino board, you might have seen the same structure is available in your serial communication. In the example program in Arduino, you might have the same, like always at serial dot println or serial dot read some data is there, then you trigger it. Once that event is triggered, then again it will go for the function where it has to execute. So it has a similar structure here. So here the declaration is, since it is a named event, it is our own triggering statement. We have to first define it. So to define it, first we have to declare it. To declare it, we have to use a keyword called event. Then the event name. Here it is a received underscore data. Then when we want to trigger it, then I have to use a triggering symbol, that is hyphen and greater than symbol, and I have to call that event name. Okay. Once it is done, then again the similar structure is written in always at received data. Now what is the difference between the second always at received data and the always at positive edge of clock? In the positive edge of the clock, we can see this clock stores some data for us. It has a storage element here, but as per this event, the received underscore data will not have any storage element. So once it is triggered, it triggers, then it dies. So it waits for the next trigger. So I can have a multiple always block which can trigger this particular event. So that is the advantage we can have in a named event control statement. Now, event or control statement. Sometimes in the control region, we may want to have more than one signal to process it. So this we have seen in a lab program examples. So here also we will see what is the syntax for that. So the transfer of multiple signals of the event can trigger the execution of a statement or a block of statements. This is expressed as an OR of events or signals. The list of events or the signals expressed as an OR is also known as sensitivity list. The keyword or is used to specify multiple trigger. So instead of or, we can use comma also. In the lab programs, we have used comma instead of or. Here is an example for an event or control. Always at. So this is the statement we always see. Then within the simple parenthesis, what you are seeing is called a sensitivity list. In the sensitivity list, we have three signals: reset, clock, and D. Now we want to execute certain statement if there is any change in any one of the sensitivity list. So if there is any one is active, then I should go inside this one. That means I should use OR statement here. So it becomes reset or clock or D. So it gives a very clear way that any one of the signal change, then execute the following statement. So then inside this, what we are doing, we are just checking the reset, then set Q is equal to 0, if clock is equal to high, then Q is equal to D. So again, this is the one way of writing your D flip-flop. What happens if I have, this is nothing but a D latch here. See here in the D flip-flop, what we had is at positive edge we might have used. Here what we have, reset, clock and D. So here I am checking reset the level. Only I am checking whether it is high level is there, it is equal to 1. Then I am making it to 0, output to 0. Else if clock is equal to 1, that means it should be in a high. Then only we are assigning Q is equal to D. So the same thing, instead of or, in the right hand side you can see only comma is there. So both the statements are same for us. So or is the traditional way what they have used. In the modern ways we will just use a comma and we can execute the statements. Now in the OR control event, when the number of input variable to a combination logic blocks are very large, the sensitivity list can become a very cumbersome to write. And if we miss any variables from the sensitivity list, the block will not behave like a combination logic. Okay. So to solve this one, we can say at star. Okay. So what's the asterisk symbol or the star here is to tell that what are the variables or the register and the signals we are using inside the always block. Take all that into consideration. If there is any change in that particular signals within the block, then execute the same block again. The special symbols are sensitive to change on any signal that may be read by the statement group that following this symbol. So we'll see the example, then we can understand how it works. Now let us see a simple example where I have two outputs, output 1 and output 2. Output 1 has expression like if A is equal to 1, then execute B plus C, else D plus C. The output 2 has if F is equal to 1, then execute G plus H or P plus M. Now if I want to write in the behavioral model, then I'll start with the always at, then the sensitivity list. We have to write what are the sensitive signals are there for us: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, P and M. So these are the list we have to write. Assume that you have a combination circuit with 100 signals available. Now what happens here is I have to write 100 signals here. So there are chances that while we are typing, we may miss some of the signals. So if this is a simple combinational circuit comes into picture, so then what happens now? If a particular, for example, instead of M, I have typed only up to P. So that means M is not Whenever there is a change in the M, this code will not execute. So to avoid this problem, Verilog has given us a symbol called star or the asterisk symbol. Okay, if I say this thing, so what the compiler will do? It will decide what other sensitivity signals are there for this particular block. Here, what are the sensitivity list is there? Is from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, P and M. How it will determine that? So it determines by the operation with the equal to sign. What are in the right hand side is there. These are the areas where we have to consider. If there is a change in the out 1 and out 2, if it again is found to execute, there is no purpose here. So the compiler decides, okay, what are the sensitivity list depends upon the code what we have written here, right? So this avoids the missing of any sensitivity signal if there are multiple signals are available for us. If there is a small signal, is there only less than 10, it is good for you to write. If it is more than 10, it is good